Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. With me, I have the very informative Shahzad Khan. I happen to be Shahzad Hashmi. And, in the first segment, we spoke about entrepreneurship in general and a startup culture in Pakistan, how to improve yourself as a new entrepreneur. We gave out some tips as well. And right now, I think we're going to do similar, but something very specific as well.
Exactly, because ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about digitalizing as well and how the economy these days, you know, even if we talk about online purchases, we talk about YouTube, we talk about anything. Majority of these startups are actually interlinked with the information technology and the industry itself, and the government is actually giving us a lot of favors. How, why, and when can we get that is something which we will be getting or looking answers for as well. And the gentleman I'm going to introduce, that's exactly how I would want to age, probably next 10 years as well, as handsome as he can be. Not just with the looks, I think with the brain as well, because he happens to be a very seasoned entrepreneur himself. And once again, obviously providing opportunities to a lot of Pakistanis out there. Now it's up to them whether to kind of seize this opportunity. You know, there's this song, and I would rather come back to the song some other time as well.
Okay.
But it's about time that we introduce him, ladies and gentlemen. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Mr. Ghufran Usman, who happens to be the sales director and advisor board member at TEO International. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm very good. And
thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
So the best part is that Mr. Ghufran Usman, ladies and gentlemen, were born to Pakistani parents as well. And we're lucky that you're here and you want to do something really very amazing for Pakistanis. And you want to bring in the business to Pakistan as well. And you want to fulfill a lot of corporate social responsibilities. So all three of them, how are you going to do that?
So we've been in the Pakistani IT industry for 2 decades now.
Yep.
Okay.
Not only with TEO, but with companies before that as well, which are going well and still active in Islamabad and serving European clients.
Yep.
So TEO, Talented Earth Organization, we established in 2007.
Yep.
We got around 200 employees. So we are not a company, we are actually rather a community.
Okay.
And with community, it brings responsibility. We don't employ resources, we work with people.
Okay.
Right. So having said that, we got a very, very strong hold in ethics in our company. We don't work with sex, porn, gambling, interest-based businesses,
Fake degrees.
which is very strange for a Scandinavian-based company.
Okay.
Yeah. And the best part is that being born to Pakistani parents, having learned that culture, being an active part of the Danish software industry,
Yeah.
it actually gives me a foot in the both cultures,
All right.
which I have been used, and our CEO has been used to establish our company successfully in Pakistan.
And that's great. You know, we certainly want that. And you know, wherever anybody can take advantage of being a Pakistani, I think you certainly need to bring back good name or probably take it wherever you're going out in the world as well. But now, sir, you know, whenever we talk about businesses, I think that the first ever rule of business is that, okay, what can we get out of whatever we are doing? So, you know, before you bring back, you know, good name to Pakistan, you're bringing business to Pakistan, obviously there's something for you in it and for all those people who actually run the company itself. So that's great. But now, this time around, we see a lot of people coming back to Pakistan and kind of trying to surf in the information technology industry, that too within Pakistan, because the government is allowing us to do so. And that's something which we wanted to see. We wanted to grow in this era and in this sphere as well. How well do you think that the government policies are coming out where it is very conducive for people like you, people like Mr. Zakri as well, to come in and then explore and then give more opportunities to Pakistanis?
Exactly.
That's a good question. Yeah.
There's a boom in the software industry worldwide.
Yep.
Yeah.
And most of the markets, the traditional IT markets, they are consumed.
Yep.
So we have a huge opportunity in Pakistan that it's not an opportunity, we actually have an obligation to tap into this opportunity.
Yes.
And I think that the government should be able to help us more by tax reliefs and so on.
Right.
But on top of that, making the process for foreign or overseas Pakistanis, make it easier for them to establish a company in Pakistan.
All right.
Well,
What are the difficulties in the first place for
Oh my
overseas
God.
Pakistanis? Let's get into that.
I think that the bureaucracy, being born in Denmark or in a Western country, it's very easy. You got some certain steps to establish a company.
And you can do it while sitting at home.
Yeah, on the internet, right? Here, I don't know where to begin.
All
So
right,
you're
I
saying the
totally get
process
that.
is complicated, and definitely we have heard a similar sentiment from a lot of other businessmen as well. I would like to have your insight on how that can be relaxed, because just yesterday a lot of my freelancer friends were really happy they were getting tax exemptions and tax relaxations in their work as well.
Yeah.
But they still had more demands. So first of all, I want you to address that. Secondly, since we're short on time, I really wanted to ask you this. Learning about your company, it was really inspiring for me to learn that you, being a Pakistani as well, trained and then employed and then stayed with a lot of people, more than 100, who are now working for different companies.
Exactly.
But then you said you started with one and eventually now you're an owner of 4 of those companies as well. Does that mean people working with you should be threatened?
No, not at all.
I don't know how
Not
to
Feels
put
like
it.
Shark Tank.
I
No,
mean,
no.
yeah, go ahead.
We are just having one company right now. The
Okay.
other has been spinned off,
Okay.
bought off from other companies as well,
Okay.
also from Denmark. But the thing is that I don't think that anybody should be threatened by somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The risk, it comes from Allah.
True.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And you just have to do your best to achieve what you want.
Exactly.
But that actually comes with a responsibility.
Exactly.
So if you capitalize on Pakistani talent, you have to give something back to the the Pakistani society as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And in our case, we do it by scholarships.
True.
We have 100 plus scholarships.
Nice.
And the second thing we do, because once the graduates graduate from the universities, there's a big gap from what industry needs and what they come with. So we have established something we call the IRP, Industry Readiness Program, which I think that the academia should actually tap into. And we would be very happy to get in touch with some of the bigger universities so we can tell them what the need are in the industry. So once you graduate, you're ready for the industry.
Exactly.
And
So
that is the need of the hour, right?
Exactly. So it's like bridging that gap, which we always talk that,
Yeah.
academia and the job industry really need to have links. So IRP, ladies and gentlemen, can be a discipline which we can probably teach students in the last 2 semesters, if not only one. Now, sir, towards the end, what I would certainly want to talk about is that, even prior to you, in the first segment, we talked about corporate social responsibility and having a social impact. You're having it in a very different way. So, there's this application you guys have built. Would you mind telling us a little about that?
Yeah, first of all, there was this scholarship program, right?
Yep.
But secondly, from an Islamic point of view, we have made an application called My Masjid,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
nice.
is running in more than 300 masajids, including Faisal Masjid.
Wow.
So what we do is actually, nowadays people are short of time.
Yep.
You cannot sit there, wait for the azan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we actually tell the muezzin when to make the azan.
Okay.
At the same time, we give a notification to the prayers
Yeah.
that now
To the
it's
muezzin,
time
yeah.
to
Wow. And
to
it's
get
for
in.
free.
It's for free.
And
Wow.
and you certainly are fulfilling your corporate social responsibility, but nobody thought about this idea prior to you, I guess. And that's a great thing to do. And I hope that one day we can actually do it all together rather than sending notifications to people after every single minute. Hey, you know what? According to you, is your prayer time.
Your prayer time. But definitely a very unique idea and a newer one in market as well. But coming back to where I wanted you to sort of let a lot of people know how they can fix the problems with the process of registering a business, then starting a business. Because you know what? We have a lot of overseas Pakistanis on our show, and the response we get from our audiences is, it is easier for them to have a business. Call a Pakistani businessman so we can know.
Exactly.
So do you want to address that?
I'm not able to address that because it's not me who has done it, right? So,
Yeah.
but what I hear from our admin staff
Okay.
is that the process are quite tedious.
Yeah.
Right.
It is quite tedious, and for all of those people who are out there, who are listening to us today, if you happen to be one of those people working in those offices, please make sure you do that, because we have dropped in the numbers when we talk about ease of business within that index as well. But so very quickly, how do you think that people are going to be in touch with you when they think that they might have a very brilliant idea? And in addition to that, since my producer is not telling me that, the time's up, now obviously a lot of companies are moving on to cloud platforms. And
Exactly.
for the very first time, even Garage Cloud platform has been launched over in Pakistan. A lot of companies are providing securities to all of these cloud platforms as well, and it happens to be a $500 billion industry world over. How do you think that we can cater to that,
Crazy.
because Pakistan's relatively new to it?
Yeah, I think along one of those government policies, right, the government is actually looking ahead they have to upgrade themselves.
Yep.
This digital transformation, using the cloud, and putting these companies like us in play, that would be the way of
Forward.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Mr. Athar and Mr. Zakaria before regarding success and these youngsters who are eager. And I think there's one thing that once you are fresh out of university, you forget. You cannot get into an elevator and press a button to success.
Yeah.
You have to climb every single step.
Absolutely.
Feel the texture beneath your feet. That is your learning, right?
Wonderful.
Wow,
And
that's
thank you very
beautiful.
much for saying that, because I kind of keep on saying that to a lot of people, because when I, for the very first time, premiered on television, I thought that, hey, you know what, tomorrow there will be a lot of people asking for my autograph or selfies and whatnot. And it
so
took
cute.
me 12 to 13 years, every single day learning and, realizing what texture I'm standing on as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps as well. So if you have a passion, you first of all really need to answer this question yourself, whether you want to do it. If you commit to it, give it your 200%.
Right,
Exactly.
definitely. So, but thank you so much for being with us. It was
I'm
definitely
obliged.
a learning procedure
Thank you very
for a lot
much.
of people out there too.
Yeah,
so
we
thank you
still
for
need
doing
to
that.
discuss your skin routine and your diet, all right?
Let's have
how
an
I want to
entire
end.
segment on that. I have a lot of
Yeah.
questions. But all right. So ladies and gentlemen, it is our responsibility, more than that, it is our duty as well, to bring the right kind of information to you, for all of you to learn. We want Pakistan to be a knowledge-based country before a knowledge-based economy, because economics comes later and a human and the ethics comes before that. So till the next time, take care of yourselves. Make sure to write to us. Your feedback really matters on all our social media pages with the name of...
Well, this morning,
Yes, and the repeat of this show you will be able to catch at...
5 past midnight. Till the next time, look after yourselves. And if you have a great business idea, please make sure. If you certainly don't want to write to TEO or Mr. Zakaria Deen Ventures, just write to us and we will make sure that we will be your voice as well. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good
morning.
morning.